me. Well, we're starting to get it put back together. I broke the top plate by accident. I'll show it to you in a second. So yeah, luckily I've got another one. I'm going to use it. Everything's put on. Oh, that's already done. So everything should be okay. Heads are on, valve covers are on. Just need a bolt for this one. That one fell down. I think it's on the ground right up under the motor. So, Lord have mercy. One plug in. Two plug in. That plugged in. And this one right here goes to the AC. This one goes to the air cleaner. These two slide up in her like so, and they plug into the top. All right. Let's keep going. All right. So the old one right here was put on way too tight. The fuel places where the fuel go in and the excess comes out. This is the inlet right here, and taking it apart, it broke. So I had to do some MacGyvering. The boys out here helping me fix it right now. I had another top plate like this one right here, but the problem is this plate is off of a I think it's 2 years newer model, and that top plate, the base is even different. You can see how these are hooked, are set up. This one comes out straight on mine, and this base plate will probably, I hadn't tried it, will probably work on this one. No, it won't. Just like that one would not work. You okay? Boy down, boy down.
Drop this.
So mine does not fit on this one. Let's see why. Okay, so this reason is because this base is too wide. On the other one, the base is narrow, so it fits. But this hole for the air cleaner and these notches right here, these notches on this one's close. I mean, far away, not close, far away. The notches on this one are right up against here. So I had to, on the other one, I had to cut these notches off and then drill this out so that way it fit. So if you ever have this issue, know that a couple of year newer will work. But these two spots will stop you. You're gonna have to drill this out to the correct size, and you're gonna have to cut these notches down so that way it'll sit on there properly. And it looks like to move up, you'd have to cut this down in order to move it up, because it's not gonna fit in this channel right here. Or you could cut that channel down if you're not worried about too much on power, because that's all that bowl is made for anyway. Give you a little extra power. You get it in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, didn't break it.
There, you said until it's snug, and then two
little ugga-duggas. That's what they call it, ugga-dugga. Alrighty. But as you see, it works fine. It ain't nothing wrong with it. It fits perfect as long as you know where to cut it to put it in place. Oh man. Alright, so the next thing I got to do is I've got to hook up the coil pack, and then we'll probably run some wires And we're not going to hook nothing up to the front of the motor just yet, because we're going to crank it and see if it runs, and then we'll hook everything up to the front of the motor. I don't want to mess that up. I have this mounted for right now, but it's because it's clean. I don't want to jeopardize it. So, all right. I got to buy new bolts for the manifold. That is the last thing that I need to do. New bolts. So, you see this cross member right here? Yeah, this one. Right here. Yeah. I figured I'd do a quick video. Before it rained again. So let's start off. So as I said before, we done the whole top end of the motor. I've got a couple of water leaks I'm trying to fix, which is on this top water hose here. At the moment, not bad leaks, just leaking. I get everything back together. I go to crank it. Now I don't have no plugs at the moment, so I had to make do. As you can see, all country boy plug. Just find anything that'll fit the frickin' hole, so it can plug the vacuum. We got them two. We got another back here. Anything to stop it from having a vacuum leak. So I go to crank it. It doesn't want to crank. I said, well, okay, I know why. It's because the throttle cable needs to be hooked up. It has a little tension on the throttle cable to keep it open. So I put the throttle cable on. Good. Turn it over. Fires up. Awesome. We let it run. It shuts off. Doesn't want to fire again. Finally get it cranked again. Long enough for me to time it. I time it. I put it in time. And I let it idle there for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that right there. I said, okay, that's good enough. It's been charged the battery, all that good stuff. I cut it off, it won't crank. Well, it's one of two things. It's either the alternator, which squeaks. You know, watch the last episode, it squeaks like crazy. The alternator either is bad because it squeaks, or the starter's bad. So I take the alternator and I take it up to the local parts place. They test it. The guy in there, he was an arrogant sucker. He said, well, if it squeaks, it's not gonna charge. I go, no, if it squeaks, it means the bearings in it is squeaking. What charges it is the brushes. So please, check it so that way we know if it's bad or not. I'm more than likely going to have to buy one later on anyway, but I want to make sure. You know, don't want to put too much money into the basket. So, the alternator's good. The starter was what was bad. I had to take out the inner fender to access partially the starter. There is no room in there to put your hand unless you're a child. So if you have children, maybe one of them can help you put the bolts back in, because I can tell you what, I could not. I did every possible thing in my abilities to take the bolts out and put them back in myself. I ended up having to call somebody else because I had worked all day yesterday on this thing, and then half the day today trying to get it put all back together, just to take it apart to replace that stupid old starter. So we take it out. As you can see where we wore the grass out right here. Look at that. So we take it out. We drop it down, all that good stuff. Like I said, I get all this out and out of the way. I get the starter down. Well, there's a problem. The cross member's in the way. That was all yesterday. We found out the cross member was in the way. I said, okay, that's no problem. I woke up at 4 o'clock a.m. this morning. I took a breaker bar, the end of the jack to the jack, and I hammered and hammered on this stupid crossbar because it's not really attached to anything. The only thing that's actually attached to it is a brake line, which I can move out of the way. I probably worked on that sucker for 3 hours trying to knock it out of the way. You can get to it from here. There's no room here. So I said, okay, well, I'll take out this inner fender as well, and I'll put it, fix it. First bolt come out, second bolt rung off. Guess what? You can't take it out if it's rung off. So I finally get that sucker out. And then I get to working on the starter. Starter bolts, a little difficult to get to, but I could get to them. Came out easy. The other bolt, other parts, a little hard to get to, but I got them out. Finally, I was able to slide the starter out properly. But there is a problem. If you notice, if I put you up in here, and you see, it looks like an old solenoid. Because it is. We took the starter out, put the new starter in, fought like hell to put the new one in. I had my buddy up here trying to help. I'm holding the starter from the top. He's trying to bolt it in from the bottom. There's a shim. Shim's hard as can be to get in. Finally get it all together. And once it's all together, we go to try it. I hit switch. Nothing. He says, hold on, let me try this. Try it again. So I tried again. Nothing again. So what do I do next? Well, we go to checking everything, checking all the fuses. Fuses were good. So then we start checking maybe the switch is bad, because the switch is partially bad. It needs to be replaced. I said, well, maybe it's possibly finally went out. Trying all this time. We check it. It's no power at all. We check the column for power, no power at all. We have power to the horn and a couple of other things. Now, mind you, when we put the other starter in, this orientation of the alternator is exactly the same, except this bolt was not tight. So he asked me, he says, well, what do we need to do? What do you think we need to do? I said, I don't have a clue, man. I said, it's working on one starter, not with the other. All right, well, I told him, I said, I'll tell you what we do. How about, let's just switch starters back. It's going to be a headache, but let's switch them back and see if it works. Well, actually, he brings up the idea to do that. I said, yeah, that's the best course of action, I believe. So he does. We fight and cuss and all this mess to try to put this thing back together, and finally we get it back together. And I bolt everything back up, as you see, and try the switch, and lo and behold, it works. Okay, so now I have another issue. Actually, two issues. Do I keep the old starter in it because I believe that it's bad? Or do I use the old starter until it finally goes bad and then change it over to the new starter? The second issue is pulling this down. That still works. The wipers still work. No high beam. The freaking cable to the high beam, apparently out of the bar or whatever it is. I don't know if it broke or what it did, but now it don't work. So yeah, that's nice. Nice. Around 8 hours of work today in this. About half to 3/4 of the day yesterday on this. This job is really starting to get on my nerves. I tell you what, when we're finally done with this, there is no way it's going to be breaking down anytime soon, because everything on this sucker will be brand new. And it'll be afraid of me using a hammer on it again. But I'm telling you what, this is just ridiculous. It's a nightmare to put all this back together. And as you can see, the only way we were able to test it was take a rock, sit it on the tire so we could awkwardly sit the battery, so we could hook up the battery to test it. Because you can't put the battery box back in. I guess you could, but I didn't want to, because I'd have to take it back out to put the inner fender back in. I'm telling you, whew, today has just been one of them days. Not to mention, I got over being electrocuted for real not too long ago. So I had to sit you down and close the hood before it rains again. But I got electrocuted not too long ago. I was at work, touched something that's not supposed to have electricity on it, and guess what it had? It had electricity on it. Knocked me right out of the seat of my boots. And ended up having to go to the doctor for it, all that good stuff. I don't know if it screwed me up bad, but in the mornings or when I'm sleeping, I can lay down and I twitch. So it's a lot of work. I'm telling you, it is a lot of work involved with this thing. I ain't never had anything fight me as much as this sucker has. Everything you mess with breaks. Just like the Nova, everything you mess with breaks. But the problem with the thing with the Nova is I don't care if it breaks, because I'm going to change it or fix it. I'll cut it off if I need to. On the Blazer, I can't do that because we're actually going to be using it. It doesn't need to be nice, so if it breaks, why would I take and cut that off just to fight and have to put it back on again? Broke. Because I'm not going to buy another fender or quarter panel, anything like that on that. Rough. I'm telling you, it is rough. So I am going to not post the next video on this Friday. I'm sorry, the next Monday, because literally this is the Friday. See how tired I am. The Sunday before the release of this episode, I'm going to be I'm going to post the next episode as soon as I get done with that thing, because it is just too wild. I mean, it's a whole lot. And we have company now. Oh, man. Well, I guess that's the end of this episode. So, just stick with us. I'm a little bummed out right now. But, hopefully we can fix it. I have no choice. The channel's called We Can Fix It. So I have to fix it. Even if I get help. Because I don't have 4 hands. And I'm tired. I'm sore. Stick with us. We're going to fix it.